Hey, welcome to Back of the Burb, episode numero 5. That's 5 for...
Yeah.
Cool. I'm your Lord Beardsley here, reigning over all of you. No, just kidding. I'm not. That's.
We got Lee.
Yep, Lee, James, Alex, and
Matt. Woo!
Matty Graves. And yeah, so I guess we'll open up with what everybody been doing this week. Matt,
starting with me, I've been getting my garage ready to work on some projects now that it's nice outside, finally. And I can do a lot more posting of that once that gets started.
What do you got coming up? You got parts for your car finally?
I have a ton of parts for one of the caddies. It's just been sitting in it for years now, getting ready to be put on. So
when are you going to do the brakes on the blue one?
Oh, God. Who knows?
Oh, that was...
I still have to buy all...
When we made that video, just watching you back that thing out where, like, you step on the brakes and it was, like, only diagonal brakes were touching. So, like, the front left and the back right were the only brakes that would touch. So the car was, like, shaking, like, in circles.
See, what was weird is that when you told me, you were like, oh, it makes some brake noise. And, like, that to me is, like, okay, maybe it kind of, like, squeaks a little bit. Maybe it drags. Dude, that was like a full-on, like, 80 decibel, like, squeal. Like,
it's like a cracking sound almost.
Yeah,
but it only did the squeak for, like, 3 seconds.
Yeah.
And then it was like, all right, we're just going to shake in circles every time you step on the brakes.
It was either, like, off or on.
Yeah. It's basically just metal on metal. There's no meat to anything in there. It's just...
Not at all.
Yeah.
It was so amazing watching that thing like jiggle in circles.
It was. It's
like someone
awesome.
like someone trying to do 720s as Zangief.
Video games.
Yeah. Video games.
Yeah, and I also saw the Burb without its face on, and that was
getting
disturbing.
It's got its face pulled off. I'm doing a cooling system overhaul.
Oh, that's cool.
New radiator hoses and stuff like that.
Which is a stupid price, if I recall.
The oil coolers are a stupid price.
Yeah, that's what you were showing me.
Oh yeah, it's an oil cooler.
This itty bitty little radiator was like, what did you say?
$300.
$300?
Oh wow!
Crap. Is that like an OEM or an aftermarket?
It's an OEM one. That's why.
Damn, it costs that much OEM?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's brutal. Mm-hmm. Some of the parts are brutal.
Mm-hmm. There's a little bit of backsass on it.
I think it's actually it's an AC Delco, so it's probably like if that's either original or not original, but it's expensive either way.
I just can't believe an AC Delco is $350 for an oil cooler.
Oh yeah, I can't find it anywhere else either. It was on Rock Auto. That's where I found it.
Like they're not even like a square foot normally.
No, they're tiny. It's like probably.
Yeah, I was gonna say
it's
a baby size. Yeah,
10 inches by 10 inches, 12 inches by 12 inches, something like that.
Like, you know those old, like, CRT SpongeBob TVs? It's basically like the screen size of one of those.
Yep. Yeah. That's what it is.
That's a really weird metric, but I feel like a lot of people actually know what that looks like.
Real talk. Did you know? I learned this week in a video I was watching while I was at work, just chilling at lunch. They made one of those TVs, a themed one, but it was Sonic. And it came with a Dreamcast inside of it.
Oh, that's actually awesome.
Yeah. Apparently they're super hard to find now.
Oh, I'm sure.
They did it for with Sonic Adventure 1 and 2.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome.
That actually is hype. That's cool.
Anyways,
dang.
There's a quick little tangent back to you, Matt.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what I did this week. Actually, on the subject of games, I went to Dave & Buster's this week.
Oh,
I don't know if you guys have ever been there, but yeah.
Well, I've only been once.
I haven't actually been there yet.
Yeah, me and Alex went with Travis and Travis's daughter, Layla.
Yeah.
I don't know if she is or not. We'll just call her. We'll call her his daughter just for safety purposes.
Got me.
For safety
what was
purposes.
that? Was that like October? I just remember,
don't think so. I think it was before I got the new car because I got the new car in October.
Yeah, maybe it was before that. I just remember you and I got really far. Like we finished 2 levels on 1 credit each of the Tomb Raider shooter, like the light gun game.
Well, we were almost done, I think.
Yeah, but like it was crazy to me that the first time we'd ever played it, we literally did the first 2 levels on 1 credit
right through the game.
I was like, what the hell is going on? 1 credit for this? Jesus.
I think the problem is we used to play Time Crisis and finish the game so much.
Yeah.
And especially when you go to like Canopy Lake Park.
Oh, yeah.
And the guy goes and says, oh, you can just open that cover and reset it if you want. He's like, nobody's come down here. You guys can just play for free. Like, cool. Died. died, and you just open the machine and hit the quarter button.
Yeah, that's always cool.
All the Time Crisis and House of the Dead and everything.
Yeah, and I haven't actually been there yet because, for reference, I think they started putting that in the mall like literally right around like the COVID lockdown in 2020.
Yeah,
I think they did.
And I remember seeing it then, and I was like, man, what a time to open a business.
Well, guess what?
Yeah, but it managed to hang in there, and it's still there. So
well, there's an adventure vlog, and I mean, we're gonna have another adventure vlog hopefully next weekend, or next weekend isn't the weekend after we film this, but
yeah. That'd be cool.
Yeah,
You're looking at me like I'm supposed to remember what we're doing, and I don't.
During the week, there's nobody there.
I barely remember what I had for breakfast yesterday.
Did you forget?
Yep.
You were making the plans for next weekend for your birthday.
Oh yeah. I
you wanted to go
forgot.
throw axes and shit like that?
Yep.
Cool.
Throwing.
Some axes, maybe some backyard grilling,
Yeah.
Nice.
some
Should be
some fires.
Maybe some vehicular mayhem.
There may be some vehicular mayhem.
Hopefully no manslaughter though. No vehicle.
No.
No
That's going to be
That's
avoided.
mayhem.
That's going to be avoided.
Yeah, we're not playing Twisted Metal.
Yeah.
That's no good.
Right. Well, yeah. So then I guess over to you, Alex. What have you been
Over
up
me.
to?
So real quick, we were talking about cars and ordering parts. I guess this is part of my week. We got a Hot Rod magazine at work.
Okay.
So and we don't put out the magazines for the pages anymore because it's still COVID, all that stuff.
Right.
So sometimes I have to sit at a computer and do 3D scans. So I put models in there, 3D scan, but you're there for a couple minutes sometimes just staring at the screen. So I'm like, I'm going to open the magazine. If you go to the back of this month's episode, or I'm sorry, not episode, issue, you go to the back, it's like the last couple pages. So if anybody has Hot Rod magazine, go to this part. Because on the left side, you've got like, LS swaps, Ford F-150, like cool, manly stuff. You go to the top of the right page, and it's dick pills.
Oh yeah. No,
And I'm not talking just dick pills. Like there's obviously like the muscular dude holding the chick with the huge boobs.
Yeah.
And
it's like
there's like
doctors hate him.
Some of them are like, you can last for hours or whatever, like stamina pills. There was like a pharmacy of just male enhancement products.
Oh,
there was like a cream, there was a pill, there was a lotion.
A cream and a lotion.
Yeah, different things, mind you. And I'm just looking at this and I'm like, you got to buy the Ford. And for whatever reason, we're going to LS swap the Ford, and then we're just going to really just rail the dick pills. It just seems like it belongs.
Pun intended, I presume.
That's where any leftover money goes, just right there.
Here for a good time, not a long time.
To add to this, after I found that, my coworker comes over to drop off some parts I had to mill out. I said, hey, you got to look at this magazine. I'm like, read this article on the dick pills or whatever. And he goes, one day I went to the gas station and actually bought some.
Oh no!
And consumed them.
Oh no!
He goes, there was a enhancer one and there was a stamina one with energy. He goes, yeah. So he's like, it was a wild time. He goes, one day I took one and he goes, I had a 4-hour boner over at the machine shop. I'm like, that sounds terrible.
Oh no! Wait, what? He like took it before he went to work. He's like, screw it.
It might have been like a lunch break thing. Like, I'm gonna go to whatever one up the street, and they just had the thing. And he's like, today's the day I try them.
Every decision I've made in my life has led me to this moment.
Exactly.
Once again,
And
here for a good time, not a long time.
I think the best part of that was that, like, it's not even like, he's like, I'm going to grab some of these. I'm going to go have some fun with my girlfriend later. It's like, no, I'm in the middle of my work shift. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
That's the time to test it out, right?
Oh, to be young and dumb.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, even when it comes to like, you know what? No, I don't want to go into that. That's kind of gross. Let's just not. Let's just not. But yeah. So that was.
So that was some events during the week. That was mainly yesterday. And I've been laughing at it pretty much all week.
It's Good Friday.
But other than working, and of course nobody's going to be surprised after watching this, I'm still playing Elden Ring way too much.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have not beat it yet. It's like 88 hours or something now. But
You're getting there.
that and I've just been clicking add to basket on lots of light upgrades for my car.
Nice.
So interior, exterior, and hopefully someday I'll find headlights that work for it. So
Is it about $1,000?
the headlights?
Yeah, just everything, all the lights.
I think so far I'm probably like 5 something into it, but I'm just,
Terrible, isn't it?
now at least I know that like it's very good stuff.
Yeah.
They're all like,
Same.
I don't know if you guys know what Diode Dynamics is. They're like a lighting company that they make really nice stuff.
Oh yeah, okay.
Real nice
Good.
LED stuff.
But basically, I started with fog lights, and I got all the interior lights. So just like little map
Dome
lights,
lights and everything.
and then license plate lights. So if anybody rides my ass at night, they're not gonna like it because I think like the rating was like 500 lumens on all the LEDs I'm putting.
Oh, awesome.
So like I'm gonna put the map light on and I'm gonna go blind.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's like everybody's gonna
like
see
the
inside your
vanity
truck.
mirror or anything. Not that I care about that, but it's still cool. I'll be like, oh, what's that weird mark on my face in the middle of the and just laser my eyeballs.
You just hear a
Yeah, I'm gonna get a tan in the middle of winter at night.
tanning booth. Yeah,
that's when you have someone else in the car and they're like, what's that hissing noise? And you're like, oh, that's just my corneas.
You're like, that's just me.
yeah. Someone frying eggs on us. It's just my eyeballs.
They're like, oh yeah, do you have any lights in here? Like, I just gotta look at this paper real quick. It's
No,
nighttime.
don't do it.
And I'm like, wait. Do you have sunglasses on you? Because you should wear them. They're like, it's nighttime. Like, all right, I warned you. Like, those old gym lights.
It's like a camera flash,
no.
but sustained.
It just stays.
Good old fucking flashbang to the dog.
Yeah.
Flashbang in the car. Flashbang in the car.
Flashback to the car.
Nice.
Yep. All right, so that's probably my week. So at some point we can maybe get with this guy with his fancy camera setup and do some installs, or more like me yelling at my car while I use my little plastic pry bars to get all the pieces off.
Yep.
Right.
I
that's fun.
did get footwell LEDs.
Oh, like
yes.
I got RGBW ones, so I can do
Get the RGB.
like if anybody can see what's going on anywhere with the lights over there.
you got
I can do
gamer
that.
lights for your car.
I gamer lighted it, so
Nice.
And you can you can do
that adds
Bluetooth.
like at least like 1,000 points to your I don't know, whatever your
your
CPU benchmark
style
is.
factor?
Yeah. yeah, your CPU benchmark
My
score. That
ECU?
adds like yeah, your ECU.
It's an ECU
benchmark.
upgrade.
How much horsepower does it add?
Yeah.
65.
Yeah, it's basically
65?
it's
Nice.
basically like chipping your car.
It is,
That's
just
like-
chip it.
That's
just
like
chip
yeah.
it, dude.
just chip it. Yeah, like your Cadillac. Just chip it, dude.
Just chip the
I'm gonna chip my 1975 Cadillac all day long.
Just chip it, dog.
Yeah, just chip it.
What do you mean? Just chip it.
I just take a chip and I just
Dude,
stick it in the carburetor and
You know what you should
Yeah.
do? You should get an SD card that has something saved to it, like I don't know, some smut, and just turn the car on, floor it, and right through the throat, just let it go and see what happens. It'll eat it.
oh, that's horrible.
I mean, it's only a little bit of plastic and a little bit of metal, and it's soft metal, so it'll be fine.
But don't forget the regret.
yeah.
No regrets.
Yeah, no regrets.
Not even one letter.
Just floor it.
Yeah, just floor it and drop it in there. I'll do it with a Firebird right before I sell it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I'll be like, all right, let's just do a burnout for this guy who's going to buy it and just drop something in there.
Dang.
I still think I might have left like a socket in the engine somewhere, but I don't know.
Oh, well.
Because
That's fine.
I put the intake on and the carburetor, and I said, well, where'd that socket go? No, I'm not sure. I've never found it.
Yeah,
Don't know.
Actually, I think I have that same situation with my car. Somewhere underneath the hood of my Trailblazer, there's like 3 valve stem caps just because like I take them off, I try to put them somewhere safe, and then I forget where I put them. And I'm like, well, it doesn't need it. I can just get more at the auto parts store.
Yeah.
And I close the hood, and they're probably still there, like trapped in some groove or recess. And I don't know where they are.
It's terrible when you're working on something and you drop a bolt like that and you don't hear it hit the ground and you're just like, no.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dude.
No.
Yeah,
And it's one of
same
those
thing in the
ones-
PC world where you like loosen up a screw, you take it out, but then it falls and it's gone.
Yeah.
It's in there somewhere. You can shake it and you can hear it, but you don't know where it is.
Yeah,
But it's gone.
You just want to make sure it gets out of there before it touches between 2 spots and shorts. Oh my god, what a nightmare!
Yeah, yep.
Been through that.
Oh, yeah.
You know what's worse? When that happens when you have a water cooled system.
Oh,
Nightmare.
yeah, I can imagine.
Nightmare.
Yeah, because you can't just like. I'm used to owning like kind of crappy, me built PCs, which means they're usually made out of garbage. So I'm just used to like I just pick it up, shake it upside down, the screw will come out eventually, or it'll get lodged somewhere and you know it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I
I mean, you just remove the graphics card now and just kind of tilt it around.
Yeah. Like I think I do that now because I have like a nice graphics card. But yeah, back in the day it was just like whatever.
Yeah.
But with a water cooled, that's a lot harder to do.
Yeah.
Because you just added like a good however many pounds worth of weight, and not to mention you don't want to loosen anything while you're doing.
Well, not only that, like you got to be careful sometimes it'll flow one way, but it might leak at the top of the reservoir or something like that if you don't have it fully tightened.
Yep.
Which a lot of people do. Like they just kind of put it in there real quick, and I'm guilty of it.
Yep.
I'm not gonna lie. It's like, well, the water's never gonna go there unless I'm filling the reservoir. Well, you just start tilting it over to try and get that fucking. Oh, there goes water. Shit.
Yep. Ah,
Panic.
damn it.
Panic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Panic.
Where's the rice? I need rice.
Yeah. Where's the rice?
You know what you need? You need like the I'm on fire or covered in acid like shower thing, but it's just like a 55-gallon drum and the bottom blows off and it's just rice. You suddenly get like 200 pounds of rice right to the PC. Like, I need it now.
Oh boy, that sounds rough.
Yeah, that's a lot of rice.
Yeah.
All right, so what have you been up to this
So I did.
No one cares.
Yeah.
Wow. Dickhead. That was rude. Yeah, see, look. No, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it's all good. So I did two things. I finally built the Warsh cart.
The worst shirt.
The
worst shirt. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's
Did you wash your car yet with it?
Yes, I did. It was fantastic. I had everything all set up and all nice and like, yeah.
He used the worst Kurt to worst his Kurt.
Yeah, no, having everything in one place is real nice and having it like move around and then pressure washer and everything. Obviously, I got some new Chemical Guys stuff.
Oh, yeah.
No surprise.
Nice.
No surprise.
I think he eats it too.
Do you eat it?
He's like, is that a clay bar? It actually might be butter. Let me put it on the toast.
It might.
You're not supposed to know that part.
Some of it does smell really good, though. Like,
It does.
Yeah, it
like, I
does.
bet I could eat this, but you shouldn't.
Yeah,
you
no,
really
no.
shouldn't.
You know, that's like the yellow McGuire's car wash.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, everybody knows. You sniff that and you're like, I'm pretty sure that's candy and I'm meant to drink this.
I mean, I've got the citrus, like the lemon lime one, and it literally smells like a can of Sprite.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
And like I had, I've got some of the cherry speed wipe, which smells like cherry candy. In the past, I had the creamsicle speed wipe, which was like that stuff was awesome. Like, yeah, it literally smells like creamsicle.
Oh, that's dangerous.
Delicious. Yeah, they're like all kinds of stuff. They have the wax, the yellow one that's banana flavored, and they have a red one that's cherry scented. Yeah.
I like that he said banana flavored, so now you know he eats it.
Oh yeah, baby.
Yeah. How do you know
This
what it
is
tastes
wax.
like, man?
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, he has a pretty decent beard, and so does he. But you know, to get that kind of color and you know that whatever, you have to consume Chemical Guys products.
That sheen.
It's not an apply to the face; it's a consume.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
not. It's not use. It's consume.
Yeah.
It's very
That's
different.
how you get that sheen in that color.
Yeah.
We are not affiliated with Chemical Guys whatsoever.
Yeah. We're
Yo,
also
I
not
would love to be
responsible for any-
affiliated. You guys want to send me some shit? I fucking love your stuff.
No, don't send it to
please.
him. Send it to me. I don't have anything.
Send it to
No,
him to
send it to me and I'll
consume.
distribute accordingly.
Make
All
sure
right,
it's
all
like
right.
human
Well,
safe.
you two
Fair.
need a boxing match now to determine who gets the Chemical Guys prize.
Him or me?
Yeah.
It's gonna go a while.
I mean, you know, we only went to fucking kickboxing this morning for the third time this week.
Yep.
Oh,
That's good.
dang.
Yeah.
I noticed right above my hip bone, if I poke it a little bit, it's not great.
Dude, speaking of
It's a very
kickboxing,
specific spot.
this morning when you cracked your toes, like that
Oh, that
was
was
so loud. Like he got all 10 toes like in a perfect like in the middle.
A box of Wheaties sound like.
So we were just like
brutal.
stretching out or what. It was between like ab exercises. So I'm just sitting with both my. Oh, I'm tangled.
Tangled.
So I'm sitting with both my legs out like this, and I just did like a little, crunch like that on both of them.
Oh.
And I mean, nobody's talking at that moment. We're just taking a quick breather.
It was,
And
like,
it was just like,
Oh, wow.
it was like a
you know.
perfect sound.
yeah, it was like running your finger down the piano, just like.
Oh, nice.
But everybody just kind of looked up and like, was that your toes? I was like, I'm like, yeah. And then everybody's like, oh, it was like this or that. I'm like, oh, it sounds like corn nuts. I like just eating corn nuts.
All
Or
right.
whatever.
Oh,
But
yeah.
that was good.
Hey,
See,
you know what?
It was
Kickboxing.
also like
go ahead.
Thursday, the fingernail.
Oh God, the fingernail Thursday. All right, we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
I just want to say real quick, like, yo, kickboxing's fun as hell. You guys should come down sometimes if you have like the time to do it. Like, I mean, you don't have to kill yourselves, but like, it's fun with like because it's a bunch of people like us.
Oh.
So yeah, and there's a dude who's bigger than Jeremy that's actually been going, and he's been working his ass off. Like, shout outs to that dude, Alex. I don't know if you listen to this or not, but shout outs to you, dude. Like, you've been working your ass off. Like, we can tell that, like, you started, when did he start? Like, right around New Year's? Right after New Year or something like that?
Maybe it was
Like
when
his,
it
like
was
his New
when
Year's resolution project.
it was like just when it started to getting to calm down and like the
Yeah.
COVID stuff.
Well-
so more people started to show up, and he was one of the new guys.
Yeah.
He's been consistent.
He's been real consistent, and like, yo, shout out to you, dude. Like, you've clearly lost 20 pounds. Like, you're working your ass off. Good job, dude.
Yeah, good for him.
But yeah. Speaking of, so the fingernail. So Thursday night. Oh, Thursday night. What were we doing? It wasn't push-ups. We were doing planks.
That and like the shoulder taps and all that stuff.
Yeah, it was a plank routine, and I'm just kind of sitting there, and I'm on the right side of Alex, and Alex is over here on the left, and Alex just starts giggling, and, and we're sitting there, and Alex is like, "Hey, you want something?"
I blew a toenail over.
He blows a toenail over to me. We're like trying to do plank exercises, and the toenail's coming over to me, and I'm like, "Nah, you can keep that." So I'm sitting there. The toenail's just going back and forth between the two.
Meanwhile, like, not me as much, but like we're struggling just from, you get clammy hands, clammy feet working out, and everybody's sliding around. Oh, it was just funny time.
Oh, dude, like I couldn't even stay. Like I was so sweaty at that point, my feet wouldn't even stay in place. So I'm trying to do these exercises while we're planking. We're laughing our asses off, and the whole time while we're laughing our asses off, I'm doing this, like I'm stretching out and just like looking at how keep it, go back and forth. Like,
which then makes the exercises harder because you're laughing.
Right.
So
Well, you're not
your
breathing
core more,
consistently, yeah.
and you're breathing harder. But that's like every time we go for a jog in there, we're talking to each other and laughing, and you don't realize you're getting like about double the cardio when you're chit-chatting while you're jogging.
That's fair.
Yeah, no, it's a good time. It's always fun there. Hey,
Okay,
can you not do that with the squeakies right now?
No squeaking.
Go get the bone,
Bowser.
dude. Bowser wants to talk.
Bowser
Introducing
Bowser might
special
have a
guest
few
host,
words here.
Bowser.
Let's see.
Yeah. You
A
gonna
word
sniff?
from Bowser.
You gonna sniff?
Yeah.
we got
I
one.
love the dog sniffs.
Yeah. So yeah, no, that place is awesome. We go there a lot. That's Woo's in Londonderry. Love that place.
Oh, it's in Londonderry? Cool.
Yeah. It's you know where Crossroads Mall is, right?
Yep.
Right down there. Or it's Crossroads, right?
Which?
It's behind Crossroads Mall.
Yeah. Right next to Janie's, the little white house building.
Yeah.
Right
sweet,
behind the Janie's.
Yeah, where
It used
the
to be
crappy
edible.
dollar store is, or used to be.
Used
I
to be.
think.
Yeah.
Well, there's Escape 102 too.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's all one
That-
building. It used to be the Edible Arrangements building.
Yeah.
Right.
And then dog grooming now. So it's Escape 102 dog grooming, and then all the way to the left, there's a staircase when you go through the door that goes up into Woo, which is upstairs.
Oh, okay.
Love that place. We go there a lot, work out a lot. It's a good time.
Nice.
We have a lot of fun with the people there, and the instructors and everything. It's
a good
like
place.
when we were doing the thing with the toenail Thursday night, like I remember Katie and Bree look over the two instructors, and they're like, "What the hell are you two morons fucking doing now? What are you fucking doing?"
We're often the troublemakers.
Yeah.
The fucking Ren and Stimpy in the back there.
That's what it is.
A couple weeks ago, you didn't show up on a Saturday morning, and Katie walks up to me and goes, "So where's your boyfriend?"
Well, yeah, because she started that 2 weekends ago. Because like I came in late or something, she's like, "Oh, you can go on that bag over there next to your boyfriend." I was like, "Oh yeah."
Wow.
That's because we started at the same time and everything.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's
So Worshkirk's toenails and
war skirts. Yeah.
And for
that's
anybody that doesn't do martial arts or working out, that's like a common occurrence. Somewhere on the mat, there's always going to be a fingernail or something. Like it just happens. You're hitting stuff, like stuff breaks off.
that's true.
Yeah.
Bare feet,
It's all
bare
good.
hands, whatever.
Dude, it's just part of the game. But no, it's fun. If you guys haven't done anything martial arts related, or if you have done it, like, because that's the big thing for us is like, him and I don't want to do belts. We
Not
both did
anymore,
belt
really, no.
systems years ago. Like he did Kenpo and I did Taekwondo years ago. And like, I did it for 5+ years. I don't know how many years you did it for.
Like 7 or 8.
And like now it's like we just want the exercise, just to work out because it's a fun
hit stuff.
workout. You get to hit stuff and you work your ass off. Like this morning I did like 700 calories.
Nice.
In 45 minutes before we started stretching and stuff like that.
Jeez.
And also today we did Tabata, which is like a variation of high intensity training. Which is real fun. That's normally Saturday morning. So you wake up, you're groggy as shit. Like,
gee.
Friday
You know what,
night,
though?
don't eat, just water. Just water before you go at 9
Yeah,
a.m.
5-10 minutes in though, you feel good.
Yeah. But like everything is high intensity interval training. You're just like, ugh. But then afterwards, perfect. for
There
the
was some
weekend.
wacky exercises today,
Okay,
like
that,
all of it.
that like knee pump to like RDL or whatever Katie was calling it.
Oh,
it's
that
like,
was pretty interesting.
so they gave us weights, right? And you have to, you're holding the weight above your head. So if you're doing it with your right leg, right, you're going to have the weight in your right hand, and then your left leg, you're bringing your leg.
No, it's opposite. Weight's on the opposite side.
Opposite side of what leg you're doing it, right? So you're standing on your right leg, you've got the weight in your right hand, and you're doing a knee pump. So you bring your knee up. So when you bring your knee up, you put your hand down, right, with the weight, and then you do like a leg pump behind you. So then you bend over to touch the floor with the weight, and the leg that you brought up, so your left leg is actually going out behind you.
Yeah, and then you kind of hop when you come back up.
And when you come back up, you're doing like a squat jump. At the same time on one hand, on like one leg.
Yeah, we're pressing your weight up.
Like hard as fuck. Like that was a fun one. Like
if you need work on balance, that's a good one.
Dude, no. I didn't drop it. I didn't fall. I didn't put a foot down, but I only did like 4.
Damn.
Like that was a hard one.
It just takes a while to reconstitute yourself between every one of them.
I came close to falling like once or twice there. Like, yeah, no, that was a good one. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, no, like you guys should totally come on down there if you're looking.
I'm just gonna say, like, as someone who does like really simple stuff, like, oh yeah, you know, I just do however much time on a bike machine or push-ups, sit-ups, or whatever. Like when hearing you describe that really like complicated thing, it really makes me think like, oh yeah, you like pat your head and rub your stomach at the same time. Like hearing it, I'm just like, I don't think my brain can like actually work like that.
It's like, I'm sure like
once you see it demonstrated,
okay,
it's just hearing it described. My brain is just like, you're what?
Imagine bending over and touching your toes.
Yeah.
But let's say you're touching the right foot. Right. Your left leg is out straight.
Right. Yeah, it's basically like you're bending down and then you.
But you're using one leg to
but your leg's like
yourself.
this. Right. So you're standing and your leg's like this, and your arm is touching this, but that's the weight arm.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And then when you come back up, think like Superman up.
Yeah.
So with the leg staggered.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah, and then you come back down, but you go back and forth like that. So the balance.
Yeah, you're basically just using that other leg just to maintain balance.
Exactly.
Yeah,
gotcha.
It's like counterweight.
Yeah, it's one of those where like definitely. You see it happen, you'd be like, "Oh, okay, that's not that bad." But like, hearing it, explaining it, you're like, "What?"
Well, no, because like, there's a lot of like weird, like, again, I didn't do like a lot of sports in high school or anything, so like, I missed out on a lot of like, you know, what people consider like normal workouts. So like, when I hear like someone try to describe it to me but not do it, I'm just like,
"Yo, this is that's a crazy person workout."
Yeah,
exercise.
It sounds like
I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the thing is, Katie's like, I've been on Pinterest and. You know, Instagram or whatever, and she goes, I found all these exercises. And if she was like, I'm going to do this today, it was something wacky.
Right.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
it was just like those crunches that were actually a leg workout.
Yeah. Oh, my dude, those are weird. And like, that was a good workout.
What I was going to say to you, though, is I think you need to just roll to your side a little more. Because I noticed once I actually
the first time I did it wrong, but then the second time I rolled over more
of your back, you don't really get it as much. When you go on the side, you're like, oh, okay, now I feel the thigh workout.
Yeah. So you go like to do like a thigh, like a side crunch where you're over on like, say, if you're doing it on your left side, you're on your like right hip.
Okay.
Right, lean over, and you bring your elbow in, like your left elbow in, like that. Only instead of doing that, when you do the crunch, you bring. So you'll do the crunch with like your left side, but you'll bring your right leg up.
But you keep your right leg straight, and you keep your like toes flexed up, and it makes the inside of your thigh like burn.
The inner thigh, like like there's some times there where like the girls like know their stuff, they're really good, but like. They find some crazy like fitness Nazi stuff. I mean, like it's one of the, dude, like it's like sometimes it's like an aerobics class. Like you see those people who teach aerobics classes and how crazy they are. Like, the girls come up with some of that stuff, and like you're like, and like you'll be like, dead at the end of the class. You know what? It's so worth it. You feel so much better after it, like especially after a couple days of it. Like, fun time.
Sweet.
But then after that, the other thing I wanted to talk about was finally went and I shouldn't say finally. It's only been out for a week. I went and saw The Bad Guys.
Oh, that's right.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So I had to go pick up my dad last night. So I just I had to burn a couple hours from between work and going to pick him up at Logan because I wasn't going to come all the way back here.
Ooh, nice.
For 3 hours to like I had 3 hours from when I left work to when I had to be at Logan, and it was like with rush hour traffic and everything. It's like, all right, I'm just going to stay.
Yeah, you'd basically be home for like 30 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. And just sitting there in traffic with a manual. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm not going to do that for 3 hours when I can only have to do that for like an hour.
Very true.
So I went and saw the other guys at a theater around there. Yo, that movie was excellent.
The other guys or the
bad guys?
The bad guys. Yeah.
Yeah, that's another movie I love.
I love the other guys. Like
I was just talking about that movie.
Yeah.
I love that
this
movie.
week.
Dude, like I watched that movie so much, I fucking love it. But, yeah, sorry, the bad guys.
Aim for the bush.
Yeah, aim for the bushes.
Just pop.
There goes my hero. Yeah, I love it.
So went and saw Bad Guys.
Yep.
That movie was excellent. Like, I'm just gonna let you guys know. Like, I'm not gonna spoil anything. I just want to talk about it real quick. But like, the one thing I really want to talk about is the car. Okay. Just like a quick little synopsis of the movie. I'm not gonna spoil anything.
Yep.
Typical, like, it is totally like a heist movie. It's like a mix between like Lupin the Third and like Oceans. So like, yeah, it is heisty. You get like that Oceans 11, 12 heist. If you like that, I know a lot of people don't like those, especially because of Rick and Morty.
Yeah,
after that whole episode, which is super irritating. I'm not
oh yeah.
But that's the whole point. It kind of ruined Oceans and some of the other ones.
They definitely lampoon a lot in that, but yeah. So.
Yeah. But like had some really, really good stuff that was like a mix between Lupin and then like Oceans, and then obviously they mixed in some of their own stuff that was really good. Pretty predictable story. I mean, it's a kids movie at the end of the day, but I really enjoyed that it was DreamWorks, and like DreamWorks movies tend to be a little bit faster paced and they have more adult jokes in it.
Yes.
Like at one point, Wolf, like the main bad guy, was going to talk to the Fox. So Diane, who's like the mayor of the city or whatever the hell, that's like the whole setup. And he goes over there to try and sweet talk to her, and she just kind of looks over and deadpans him. He's like, "Don't even try to Clooney me," and walks away. Like, dude, like me and like all the other adults in the auditorium laugh, and the kids are silent because nobody gets it.
They don't get it. Yeah.
Oh man, like that movie knows what it is.
Good.
And it throws out references left and right to what it is. That was an enjoyable. I would say watch it. Enjoyable to me. Like, I don't want to give it like a number rating because for the most part, like, I don't believe number ratings. I believe it as in like, did I enjoy my time there?
Yeah.
Was it worth like?
Was it worth the
was it
price
worth
of
$30?
admission?
You know, for a ticket and then like a drink or whatever the hell. Yeah, 100%. I enjoyed that movie a lot. Had a lot of good laughs.
Good.
But there's a lot of little details, and the real reason like I wanted to see it was the art style. That art style, like, if you were to pause it, it either looks like it's like painted, like a digital painting, which digital art's been a whole thing for me for years.
Yeah.
So like the art style is really good, but like it's 3D animated, but like a lot of the freeze frames, it looks like a painting.
Nice.
Or if they're like really trying to emphasize like animation on the characters' faces and stuff like that, when you pause it, it actually starts to look more like a 2D cartoon. Like it's what they did and how they did it is awesome.
Oh,
absolutely awesome. Worth the time, worth the ticket, whatever. I will be buying it on like Amazon or whatever the hell. Because like I don't buy too many movies, but I do that, and then like while I'm editing, I just put those things on loop,
Right,
and stuff like that.
Yep.
Just to watch and listen to and enjoy. But the real thing I wanted to talk about was the car, because I know we're all car nerds here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So he's got a car, the main character, and like they don't name it, and obviously it's like legally distinct.
Yeah. It's,
but it's like a mashup of a bunch of other cars, but primarily it takes after like an A20 Toyota Celica.
ooh.
So like the OG one, like when they first came over and they looked like a muscle car.
Yeah.
Obviously, like it has some more influences. Like it had some Mustang. Like, it had like that dual hood scoop look that the old Mustangs had, like, you know, like Bullet and all those.
Right.
Like the Eleanor, like it had like the hood scoop, kind of like that look. Obviously they pronounced like the hip in the back of the quarter panel more.
Yeah.
They pronounced it so it looked more like an old school Camaro or like a Corvette, and like the rear taillights are more themed off of like a Corvette and everything. And then like even in the front grille, like, you know, like the Celica has that look at the grille, but like they had circular headlights, looked kind of like a mix of like a Camaro and like a Camaro or like a Charger, a Challenger.
Yeah.
But the thing that was really cool about it was like, they did all that. They clearly did their research, because the car was like, obviously it's modified and everything because it's bad guys, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's tastefully modified as like how people used to modify the old Celicas back in the day. Like it has like period correct, like style wheels and like over fenders on it.
Nice.
I mean, it's all painted and looks like a singular body. It's not like bolted on over fenders.
Right.
But like the attention to detail was so nice with it and how they did it. Like just the fitment and how they had that looked awesome. It had like a lip kit around it. Like it was like it screamed like old school muscle, like especially like the JDM stuff. It was so cool. And then like they nailed all the little fine details of it too, down to like the headlights. Like they had electrical tape X's on the headlights and everything.
yeah,
Classic rally style.
Yeah.
You know, it's only a matter of time before somebody's probably already building that car.
Yeah,
probably.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna cut up little pieces off of all the cars you probably mentioned, and they're just gonna put it together, and it's gonna be super awesome.
Oh, dude, yeah, it'd be so easy. Like, I mean, realistically, you would just take one of those old Celica's and you kind of leave the body alone. You can't make that hip line on the rear quarter. Like unless you're gonna go crazy and do a lot of body work, like you're not gonna make that. And I wouldn't go cutting up old cars like that to do something like that.
Right.
But yeah, no, like that was something like I enjoyed every time like that car was on screen. Like I was enjoying it just like because the car nerd in me was coming out, and like, it was like so much attention to detail. Like it was just excellent seeing it. And like not to mention like they even kind of nailed some of the driving aspects, right? Like at one point they literally have him heel toe it. To like drift into a corner and everything. Like he's heel towing and everything. Like it's like all right. So someone over there at DreamWorks like really likes their car stuff and they care for it. Like especially like that JDM classic muscle. Like excellent,
Good stuff.
excellent.
You know, it'd be super cool if like a group of them were car nerds there, and they all had these cars, and they said, "Wait, what if we design his car off of all of what we drive here today?"
Yeah,
Like just
awesome.
smash it together.
I mean that's what it is.
They went outside and threw them up.
It has to be legally distinct. Like that's why like in
Right.
cars, like you see the only thing that's not legally distinct is GM because GM paid for that. And, like,
Right.
all the Cars movies and stuff like that.
Yeah. Cars movies are like in the Transformers, like they use like the Mopars or whatever. It's just like, yeah, they license those cars. You know, they.
Yeah.
But then like you see a commercial with the same car, but they just take all the badging off it. So it's like, oh well, it's not that. We don't. They don't endorse our product.
That's well, we needed a car. That's just what we
Right.
had. That was cheap. That's what we had on the lot to use.
Right.
Whereas if it is something that's like endorsed or licensed or whatever, then it'll have all the badges and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like I really enjoyed that movie. I enjoyed it. The soundtrack was excellent. Like it had like an atmosphere to it and everything that was really good. Kind of like a classic Lupin. And like
Nice.
I said, like really take Lupin and really take Oceans and just kind of mash them up into a movie. Like that's a cartoon for kids.
Nice.
Lots of good jokes and everything in there. Excellent. Enjoyed it.
Sweet. Yeah.
Had
I'll
a
have
great
to check
2
that out.
hours.
I mean, because I can't say I'm a huge fan of the ocean stuff. You know, because like it's not like it was necessarily bad. Like I don't believe in the whole Rick and Morty thing where it's like, oh yeah, you know, heist movies suck.
Well,
They are formulaic, but I don't think they necessarily suck. It's all dependent like on how it's kind of displayed to you.
Yeah. The thing with like Rick and Morty was like really got into like, oh well, I actually did this, but I actually did that, and then I did this, and then I did that, and like that really took a chunk out of heist movies, and it kind of like really irritatingly like kind of ruined it, even for me a little bit. And like it really showed the flaws of Oceans.
Oh yeah,
but like I mean, going back, like I still like the first 2 Oceans. I don't care for 13. But like 1 and 2, like I enjoy watching those from time to time.
I think my biggest problem was just like I'm not much of like this is sound kind of weird. I'm not a star fuckery kind of guy, like because that movie is like really known for like having this big all-star cast, and it's like it really doesn't do any. Yeah,
Although the Expendables were pretty good.
was more like it was almost like
Pointless
they were kind of
action.
like making fun of themselves almost.
Yeah.
Like all the roles they've done. Whereas when you see Oceans, it's like, oh no, they're definitely high off their own farts. Like, it's like
every one of them.
dude, look at Brad Pitt and George Clooney working together. Like, whoa, like, whatever. It doesn't mean anything to me. But yeah, I mean, most of the time with those heist movies, it's all about like how you reveal whatever twist. Because if you don't set it up properly and like you just like kind of ass pull it at the last second, it's like, oh, well then what was the point? Like, what did I just watch then? You know?
Yeah, no, like the movie didn't like do too much of that. Like it just kind of the way they kind of edited some of like the heist stuff seemed more like Oceans,
Right.
But like the way the characters were interacting and stuff was definitely more like Lupin.
Good.
Lupin the Third. So like even down to like all the same archetypes. Like it's almost like it almost really feels like they might have been looking at Lupin. They're like, how do we make a Lupin? And then like, all right, well let's mix in some other stuff that's related to Lupin, because like all the major character archetypes that are in Lupin the Third, like they're the exact same. Like even down to the police officer that's trying to get him.
Nice. All right. Cool.
Yeah. So like,
it's
a
that's
good
the
time.
other thing. I can't say I'm like a huge fan of Lupin the Third because I haven't seen like all of it, but it was one of those things where it's like when they used to air it on Adult Swim, it was like, oh, of course I'm going to watch it.
It was cool to watch.
Yeah, it's great.
I mean,
I
it's
love
good.
it.
You know what?
Yeah.
Don't feel too bad because I actually haven't seen a single episode.
Oh, really?
Hey, it's all
Surprisingly, what I have seen is like all the clips of one of the main two characters or whatever, just all the sandbagging jokes they have.
Oh, yeah.
Because I know those are really good in the show.
Yeah.
So I'll have to watch it sometime.
I think that's part of the reason why there's such an influence on the car. Right. And the driving, some of the driving sequences is because Lupin's like really big on the driving.
I was gonna say Lupin's really big on like detail in general. Like even when it comes down to like the guns and stuff they show, like it's all like they get like every little detail right. And same with the cars, same with like some of the stuff they like kind of over exaggerate, but it's a cartoon. That's their power. You know?
I mean, dude, that's like the classic like anime style or like Japanese like style of animation is like all the little details they get right. Like look at all the Ghibli films, whether you like it or not, the detail in those is amazing. Like Initial D, like I know you guys. Obviously, I love Initial D. That's me. You know, I have a fucking 8086 in my garage. Yeah, whatever. Give me all the shit. I don't care. Whatever. But like the details there.
Oh yeah,
Wangan Midnight. Like it's all based off of the Midnight Car Club. But like the details there, if you watch that, and which real talk right now, because it's in like licensing hell, it's all on YouTube for free. So it's like 480p, but all 26 episodes are there. So if you want to watch that one, that's a pretty enjoyable watch. Go watch it because it's all about like a dude wanting to work on his car.
Oh, all right.
Like even to the point where like the girl's involved, like a girl gets involved, she wants to date him, and he's like, "Yeah, that's cool. I'll hang out, but like car
first." Yeah,
you know who that is?
That's a man with
that's Travis's friend Nick.
Yeah. No, that is literally Nick.
Yeah, I've heard Travis tell stories about him like. He's always got some girlfriend or whatever, and they're usually not there for too long because if it's racing season, it's not like he doesn't care about them. It's just like, look, I'm doing this, and that's it.
Yeah, he's got his priorities.
Like he's like, I'm working on that car.
Yeah,
like you don't understand. Like I don't think you've met Nick. Like
no,
there
I
is
haven't.
Nothing between Nick and that car. Not his dog. Not a girlfriend if he has one at the time. Yeah. Like I remember it's to the point to where like his house was freezing at one point, and like the pipes burst. Didn't give a crap one year. Like it was like car. No. Just like he did the garage, just stayed in the garage for a while in the middle of winter. It was like
you know what that's called? That's called dedication. And it's called drive. Girls are supposed to like these things. They should they should tastefully admire that.
Oh, dude, like
oh my god.
100%. Like some of the girls he had like were like really interested in him because of that, but like to the point of like it was like a detriment though. Is because he's that dedicated to that truck.
The thing is, at least for him, like he didn't care about that.
Yeah, no,
he's not gonna bother him. He's like, I'm fucking racing. That's what I want to do.
Nice,
which is good because when you have that kind of focus,
you just drag, right? Drag racing.
Yeah.
He has
I've seen the truck. I think.
Yeah, it's an Isuzu Pup. You probably the last time you saw it was probably when it had the 4-banger in it, like the 4G63.
It had a 4G63 out of
massive turbo on it.
Yeah.
Oh, God, what did they?
I remember that.
They didn't run Evos. They ran the Stealth.
The Dodge Stealth.
Oh, like the 3000 GTs or whatever.
The DSM platform is what it was called because there was a couple. There was a couple different cars. Like the Dodge Stealth was one of them, and then Mitsubishi had one. It wasn't the 3000 GT. But it's the same engine, that 4G63, that was the one they put in the Evos up until the Evo 10, which had the 4B11. Or did only the Evo 10 had a different engine from what I know. Don't count me on that. I'm not sure off the top of my head.
I was going to say, I don't know my Mitsubishi, so I'll just take whatever you say at face value.
He ran those for years, though, that block. And he got sick of it when he had to buy a new block and rebuild the engine every 3 races.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Because it just gets to the point where it literally starts to melt. It just like,
dude, do you
it just turns into applesauce.
Oh my god!
Do you remember when he melted that head? When we were,
I don't know about the head.
It was the winter Travis and I finished building it in the garage.
I went up there and hung out a few times when you guys tested it out and stuff.
Yeah, when it was probably about halfway through that summer, I remember we came home, or I was home. Or I just come home and then you came up the driveway and Travis, it was when Travis had that head wrapped in the heat blanket after he had like torched it for like 20 minutes trying to get it to like reform and like just kind of.
Oh yeah. They were trying to just retorque it and get it straight again, right?
Oh my
God.
Block. Yeah.
But that was like, he melted down the head and it like coolant just turned into like magma.
Oh my god.
He was putting like 80 something pounds of boost through it.
Oh no, you know why? I actually talked to Travis about this last week when we were coming over here. So what actually happened is his wastegate was malfunctioning.
Yeah.
So what they did is they put all the highest tension springs you could put in one of those in it so it would function, but it wouldn't because I think he wanted to run like 50 pounds or something through the engine.
Yeah.
But I mean, he had the little turbo, the twin turbo, so the little turbo feeding like a semi truck turbo, basically,
just to spool it. It was
just to
spool the big one.
I guess it got to the point where the big one was bypassing the small one and just going right to the blow off valve and keeping it open or keeping it shut. So there was no blow off at all.
Oh,
so
wow.
what he said it to, he said it.
The
I
valve
think
would
it,
seal it, like
yeah, I don't know how
it
they
seized,
really.
so it wouldn't open.
Yeah.
Oh
That's
my
what had
God.
happened.
So yeah, they tried to get that, and Travis was telling me, I think they got on the computer and it was almost getting to 100 foot-pounds of boost.
Oh my God.
But obviously, you run that like one time,
Yeah.
and it's just done.
Basically, it cracked the head, and then like as soon as it cracked the head with that much pressure and everything like that, all the coolant just went flowing through and just it just like rode off the head. It's like because it went like flowing through it like magma, like hot magma.
God, that's wild.
Yeah, he did have one engine blow once. He threw a rod, and you could actually do this in the front wheel well and see the tire on the other side. It put like a baseball size hole blown out straight through both sides.
Oh my God.
Like,
Yeah, straight through the block.
Wow.
But I think
Jesus.
after those few incidents, he goes, "I'm not playing the four cylinder game." So he does an LS now with
Oh, yep.
2 turbos and stuff.
I was gonna say, I know that. Yeah, the LS is like that's the big ticket.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, he was talking to a lot of guys, and they're just like, "Oh, you gotta go V8, gotta go V8,
Yeah.
get an LS." And he goes, "Okay," and he just bought everything, just all of it, all the highest performance crap. Maybe not the highest, but I mean, who knows how much money in that little engine? But now he can race continuously. And it's not, I'm going to melt my block in 3 races, guaranteed.
Yeah.
It's unless I have a catastrophic error, I'm not going to melt the block. You know?
Right.
But
yeah,
don't know.
which, dude, I remember when he first took that thing to the shoot after we finished building it and everything. I was kind of disappointed I didn't go. I didn't have any interest in going out there to watch drags, but like hearing that he ran a 7-second while he was spinning half the time, dude, like that's terrifying.
Oh yeah,
And that was
with
freaking fast.
huge tires. On
Yeah,
the thing,
dude,
too.
he had huge tires on that. Like, don't think like if you ever watch like Street Outlaws, like small tire and big tire. No, like he had big, huge ass slicks on that thing.
So
and like I remember he pulled a couple wheelies. Like Travis had videos of it doing
easily.
wheelies.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So his,
With the 4G63 before the LS.
I don't think it was Nick. It was another one of his buddies had the Eagle Talon. You ever see his thing? It was green. It was the all-wheel drive
Yeah,
one.
that wasn't that the other dude named Nick? Wasn't there like 2 or 3 of them
It
named
might have
Nick?
been the other. It might have been the other guy. I don't remember who it was.
That was the one, the Eagle Talon. Because there's the Eagle Talon,
Oh, no,
Dodge Stealth, and the Mitsubishi. It was all the DSM platform.
Yeah. So
Oh, yes.
the Talon though, that thing was something else. Like I went to like the street night with my old 300 with the V8 in it. I'm like, oh, cool. Like, and I got excited when I saw him line up. I'm like, I got to get behind him. I just want to see the race literally next to him, which was only for a second.
Yeah.
So, you know, when he goes up and he does a burnout with his all-wheel drive car, like, and it's real nasty, you're like,
Yeah.
okay, this thing's going to be cool. So, you know, the tree goes up, light hits green. I stomp on it, and I'm going like 5 miles an hour, and he's going like 70.
oh
and
my
and
God.
he did a wheelie, first of all, for a few seconds in that thing.
Yeah.
And then as soon as he comes down and it fishtails a little bit, that it's like stupid when you're watching it behind it,
Yeah.
next to it, and it's just...
Yeah, once it hooked,
And you just
like,
see the shoots
gone.
go, and you look at the... Like, he was done so fast, I could actually see his time on the board.
Oh my God.
And usually you can't see it because it takes you so long to get there, and then when you hit it, you know, the strip or whatever, the sensor.
Yeah,
you
it takes
can't-
takes some time.
It's like
before that
here in
even-
your vision. You can't really see it yourself. You got to go to the ticket window.
Yeah.
But, like, I could see his time about, like, 7 seconds ahead of mine.
Jeez.
Because he ran, like, a 7 or an 8 on a practice night.
God, that's
Crappy
scary.
track conditions, you know. It was
Dude,
fun.
like I haven't been down to the strip with any of those guys in a long time, or with Travis or anything like that. But that was like 5-6 years ago,
Oh, yeah.
and like that long ago, like all those dudes, like all of Travis's friends, they were building 7-second cars.
God.
It's quarter
Oh, yeah,
mile,
all
right?
of them.
Yeah.
Oh,
7
yeah.
seconds in the quarter mile, and like that's 5 years ago. Like I don't know what the fuck they're getting into
That's
now,
so scary.
but yeah,
Well, I mean,
Oh,
anybody
man.
hitting 7 or 6 seconds is like,
it's serious business.
that's high level.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like really, really high level is like, you know, 6'1" or something.
Just let him do it.
you know.
I know, but like I feel bad because he does that
No, it's fine.
because he's just being a butthead and
No.
just licking you.
I prefer that than him barking at me, so
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it keeps him quiet. So
yeah.
until you start hearing that.
But at least the mics aren't that sensitive.
Right.
Yeah, no.
Actually, I think I made fun of him, and then he's like, "I'm not doing that."
Well, that's kind of why we use the dynamic ones that are kind of like pointing directly at us.
Yeah.
And that's why, no, stay away from the control panel.
He's
Sorry,
gonna
Bowser
mix
really
us
wants
some
to get in
fat
on the
beats.
production.
Now he knows how to do it.
Yeah. But yeah, pretty much going back to where I was at, like that was about it. Saw the movie, played a little bit more Golf Story, like I'm in like the 4th golf course.
Oh, I'm delving into the second course a little bit more.
Yeah, second course.
I haven't played a lot though. It's a little here and there. So
Nice.
Yeah, it's a fun little indie game. I did want to talk about real quick is recording stuff. Figured we'd stream it. I don't know how I'm going to set up the stream. I think I might just run the stream on my own personal channel for the time and then just upload the videos here on this one. I don't know yet. Maybe haven't figured it out. Got to set it all up, but was thinking a couple games that I'd really like to play with some of you guys over here. Oh, dog, please stop. Don't you can't get down. But like Metal Wolf Chaos.
Yes.
Yeah. I want to play that.
it looks fun.
I want to play we're gonna play RE4 with Alex.
Yep.
I want to play Dead Space 1 and 2.
Yep.
Someone else can play Dead Space 1 because I want to play 2. I
Okay.
love Dead Space 1 and 2 so much, and I can't tell you how many times I've played 1. Like I've honestly played 1 more than I've played 2, even though I love them both. But like 1 is such a good experience. It's so good. And I'd like to see what you guys have to say about it if you've never played it. It's just that good. And then 1, I don't know how I'm going to figure it out or anything like that, but 1 that I would like to play with you guys, primarily with like you, Eddie, would be like Parasite Eve. I think that'd be such a fun one to play with Eddie.
Yeah, I'd be down.
Because I don't know. Have you guys ever even heard of Parasite Eve?
I think I have. I don't know anything about it.
So this is like early in PSX days, like on the PS1. Square did another RPG. Like you have to think like Parasite Eve actually hit. It was like a little bit before Final Fantasy VII, or like before or after.
It was around that time. I'm not sure if it was before or after 7, but it was around like that 97, 98 kind of window.
But it also had some voice acting and stuff like that. So it was like really pushing the boundaries for it. But yeah, like that's one where it's like you're sitting there. It is like an RPG. It does play like a turn-based RPG, so to say. But it's the one where like what they call as Parasite Eve is this parasite is created, and it allows this one person to turn into Eve, and that's why it's called Parasite Eve, because Eve is like the power of it all, and then Eve can unlock the power of the mitochondria within your cells.
The mitochondria is the powerhouse.
So if you've ever heard that meme or seen that meme on social media, like, yeah, obviously that's, that is biology. That's how you learn in biology and everything. But that meme and everything around it specifically comes from Parasite Eve. Like, mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell.
Holy crap. That just unlocked like a weird latent memory. So like when I was in like 10th grade biology, right? My biology teacher dropped that reference, and like, I'm a stupid 10th grader. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Like, so when I see like people dropping that, I thought it was just like, oh, that's just something all science teachers say.
No.
Now,
Yeah, that's what I thought it too. Now you realize they're all going home playing video games.
My teacher was like a weeb. Like, whoa, that is bizarre. My mind actually just like exploded. I'm like having like a critical brain meltdown. Like, oh my God.
Like the red, like
The mitochondria is being unlocked right now.
Dude, it really is. It is the power. It is the powerhouse of the cell.
like Eddie's gonna start glowing and turn into it like a
You're
super
watching the galaxy brain explosion happen within me. Like it's that. Wow.
Yeah.
Holy crap. That's
So,
so
like,
weird.
I have
Teachers
that-
are people. Who would have guessed?
Yeah, so I have that coming up. I don't know how we're gonna play that one. But those are all games I wanted to play with you guys. I don't know if you guys have anything else. So we'll have to figure out a time as to like when we're gonna record what. Obviously we'll do like a game or two at a time. I want to try and do like at least once a week, do like 2-hour blocks. Like I wanted to start with Metal Wolf Chaos because that's about 14 levels.
Yep.
And we'll do like roughly 2 hours of recording. It's about a 10-hour game, but if you do everything to get to 100%, it's a fun little game. Record that in segments of like certain levels and everything, and then that'll give me a chance to like publish it by a level or whatever, how it ends up running out. Not running out, but how it ends up coming out. So yeah, Yeah, and that's the end of my week. So what did you do this week, Eddie?
Oh, geez, that was such a long tangent.
It was a good one though.
Yeah, no, that was good.
We had a really good conversation.
So my game of the week this week, actually, I played it with my friend Tom. He's really big into like these survival type of games. I played Project Zomboid.
I've heard of that. I haven't played it yet.
It's a weird thing to recommend. So first of all, I hate survival games because I usually just find them to be like, it's kind of like busy work, the game. Like it's basically like when you boot it up, like it's just like, okay, well, I'm thirsty, so now I have to go like find water, and you waste like 2 hours basically just accomplishing the most simple task. Some people are really big into that, and to me, it's just like, this isn't, and like sometimes a game can make it fun, but like most of the time they don't. It's just tedious.
Yeah, I can even agree that like I like that. Like I love playing 7 Days to Die, whatever.
Yeah.
If there's a game that's like scavenging, killing some dudes, and like some progression,
right?
I'm happy with that.
Yeah,
or like crafting,
Like I guess I like that gameplay loop. It's just usually it's like it takes so much time to do it that by the end of it I just feel unsatisfied. Like I'm just like, I just wasted 3 hours doing that.
It takes like several play sessions to get to the point where you're like stabilized.
Right.
You're like, okay, I can make ammo now.
Yeah,
or I can make whatever.
Yeah. And Zomboid is still definitely one of those kind of games, but the best way I can describe it is kind of like imagine Dead Island's not really a fair comparison because it's not really saying it. It's like it's zombies, obviously. But the best way I could describe it is it's kind of like it combines that with elements of The Sims because it's played in like an isometric view, and it's you basically are just like controlling one character from like this weird isometric Sims-like view, and not only are you bashing in zombie heads, but you're also like trying not to die in this world that's like. It's basically like right after the apocalypse occurs. So it's like, for the first however long you have power and water, but then that goes away. And now you have to like figure out how to do stuff on your own. And
so I can appreciate that though, where it actually is at the start of it. So you get power and
that's
water.
different.
That's
different.
I've never seen that in a
game. The other thing that's really cool about it is it has a really powerful like sandbox mode. So it's not so much a sandbox like, like Minecraft kind of creative mode. It's more of basically you could change the parameters. So it's like, oh, you want power to last longer or shorter. You can do that. You could set how much time has happened since the apocalypse occurred. You could change the season you started, and you could change the difficulty of the zombies. And
that's
like
actually
the
pretty cool.
It's
that's good.
It's really weird because I don't like to recommend survival games because I really do think they're a time sink, but like especially multiplayer. And again, it's because it's on Steam. Steam Workshop is like one of the most amazing things for any game that requires mods, and this is definitely one of them. But it makes it easy because you just join a multiplayer server. It gives you the list of mods. You just say, okay, install, and blip, it's done. You don't have to worry about it. Like it's super easy to configure. I rate it pretty good. I don't know what it sells for. Tom actually bought the copy for me. He's like one of these people where it's like he still lives at home, but like he works for the post office, so he makes pretty good money. And he just like doesn't know what to spend it on. So like every once in a while when he wants us to play a game, he's just like, here's 4 copies of this game, everybody. Let's play it. And I'm like, all right.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
And you can't say no. Like if somebody buys you a game, you're like, I'm gonna play through this with you.
Oh yeah, I mean, like sometimes I do say no. Like he'll talk about like, hey, well, look, I'm gonna buy like 5 copies of a $60 game. I'm like, dude, don't. I'm not gonna play it enough to justify that for you.
Yeah.
It's different if it's like $5-10. Like, all right.
Yeah. And I think like I don't know exactly what it goes for. I want to say like $20-25. It's pretty cool. I don't know. It's again, it's in that weird category where it's like it's a survival game, so I don't know if I recommend it, but it is fun, so I can recommend it, especially if you play with friends. And the other problem with it is it's one of those games that's like constantly in development. Like, like actually looking into the development history, it's got like a really weird one because like at some point the source code was like stolen. Like they had it just on like a flash drive, and then, like someone basically swiped it or something. And it's been in like development since like 2013. It's 2022 now. We're starting to get into like that Star Citizen level of development time.
But you know what? You've been able to play that game for years. Like I've heard about it. So it's probably just one of those where they just turn it into like, you know what, we'll just keep it early access. And then as people join in, they join in. And then when it finally gets finished.
So like I wouldn't expect like it's not a super polished game. It's not, and again, it is a survival type game. So if you're really not into sinking like 3 or 4 hours into something just to do a simple task, it's probably not going to be your cup of tea. But again, played with friends. It was really fun. so that was the game I played this week.
Yeah, it's all good.
And then like other stuff, I've been trying to buy a used car, and this is kind of a weird story. And I really feel bad if my mechanics are watching this. Don't take it personally, dude. It's just I got to vent. So the car I'm looking to buy, like, you know, I don't want to spend like a ton of money, and I don't really want to buy something new because new cars to me, the personality is not there. I like buying used cars. And they have like this used CRV. It's like the most boring of boring. I just talked about how cars have a personality.
Yeah.
It's like,
And you're like, I'm not
CRV
buying
is
one
like
with
basically a black hole.
I saw it. It had some personality in there.
It has personality in it. We'll get to that. Yeah, it has stains of personality.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That kind of personality.
That's a lot of personality when you leave some of it wherever you go.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely... Yeah, the C in CRV stands for crust.
I've never said something like that.
That ain't crust.
Yeah. So anyway, if you're not familiar with the process of buying a used car to drive, not like, you know, a used car is a project or whatever. Normally, like, you know, you take it for a test drive, you see how it goes. You know, you note any flaws it has, like that you can detect. You know, like for example, when I first test drove this thing, the right rear brake was pulling, so I was like, all right, you know, that's definitely not going to fly. You gotta make sure you fix that. And then when you're about ready to buy it, because you don't want to like bring every car you test drive into a shop, is when you're ready, when you've picked the one you want, you take it in to a third party mechanic, usually someone you know. To give it a good once-over, you know, just to look at it, make sure, like, yeah, it doesn't have any mechanical flaws or, you know, like, oh, you're buying a basket case or whatever, you know, especially if you're not, like, I'm not a mechanic. I know cars, but I don't necessarily always know what I'm looking at. So, you know, it's good to see, like, you know, when you see a fluid leak, is it like, oh, is that critical or is that just like water dripping off like the air conditioner? You know, sometimes you just don't know. And it happens to be that, like, my cousin, by some weird relation, is a mechanic who works at a shop in Derry. And my normal mechanic's also in Derry. My normal mechanic is attached to this dealership I'm buying the car from. So I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to take it to my guy because he's at that dealership. You know, he's got skin in the game. He's probably going to... Like, not that I don't trust him, but, you know, if you've got skin in the game, you're going to kind of upsell your crap.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right. And I was talking to the salesman. I'm like, listen, I really like this car. I just want to take it into a third party mechanic just to, you know, get it looked at. And I made the mistake of like name dropping the shop to the salesman, who then took it to the mechanic because he's like the owner of the entire establishment. And man, when I went in, he gave me some tood. I don't know how else to describe it. Like, you know, because he's one of those guys where it's like tough to read his face. You know, and I noticed that like with a lot of like career mechanics, like some of them are pretty stoic. It's hard to really get a gauge.
They could be the nicest guy, but they're like, yeah, bring it around back.
Yeah, exactly. like very, very few words. And you know, normally like he could sometimes be kind of short because their shop is like just consistently busy. You know, they're good at what they do, so they get a lot of business. And, but like nobody was there, so he wasn't short with me for that. And I went in and, he handed me the keys. He's like, oh, you're going to take it to our competition, huh? And I was like, I mean, yeah, you could look at it that way. Sure. And yeah, he was basically like, the words he basically used was like the whole like breakup thing of, I'm not even mad, just go. Yeah. And I was like, where is this coming from? Because it's like, you know, I don't plan on going to see this guy all the time. Like, I'm still going to go to my normal mechanic, especially if, like, you buy a used car, it comes with a warranty. It's like, of course I'm going to take it back to the shop I bought it from. Even if, like, I don't trust them, everything's on their docket, so who cares? Yeah. Like, they're not going to lose my bit. And he took it super duper personally. And, like, the entire time I was driving it over to the shop, I was just so weirded out by that.
You get that uncomfortable feeling, like, have I done something wrong?
Like have I done something wrong? And like I kept mulling it over. It's like, no, I didn't do anything wrong. I just feel bad that he took it badly. And you know, and I took it over there, and like it wasn't like he was trying to hide anything because the car came back fine. You know, it was a little rusty because it's New England, and it's like the 10-year-old CRV, so of course it's going to have some surface rust. But you know, all the fluids were good. It needed an air filter, big deal. It had some interior niggles, which were, you know, we definitely.
Oh yeah.
I took it over to Matt next just because I'm like, yeah, you know, like it's always fun when you take a car out for a test drive. You got to show it off to somebody.
Yeah. Look at the piece of crap I'm going to buy.
Yeah, exactly.
He brought the most noisy Ford Taurus, I think.
Oh, my God.
The tires on this thing were so loud.
Sorry, the first car I test drove weeks ago was a 2013 Ford Taurus, and it was like 88,000 miles. It was low. It was like the limited trim.
Yeah.
But it had these winter tires on it, and like, I mean, winter tires are noisy. These things were deafening. And like
a helicopter.
Like, if you've ever sat in a Taurus, it's claustrophobic. Like, there's so much plastic and sound deadening in it. It's like, it really squeezes you in there. And like, I had Matt in the passenger seat. We couldn't talk to each other.
That's terrible.
And like, because they had, like, the tires also had like flat spots in them. So as you're going, it's like, not only is it really loud, but it's also like pulsing. It sounds like a helicopter. It's like going down the road. And I was like we were only going like 30 or 35.
Yeah, I was going to say, keep in mind, we're only going like between.
We're driving down suburbia. Like it's like we cannot go that fast. There's a cul-de-sac up there. And it's just like, this thing is so loud. And the paint was in horrible shape. And they wanted so much money. And the Ford, it had like the Ford like 3.5 liter V6, which I guess has some reliability problems once it starts getting into those higher mileages. And, you know, eventually I just kind of said like, nah, that's not the one for me. But yeah, like this CRV, like I didn't notice it at first because like my cars are, I don't necessarily keep them super clean. I dog my cars, you know, they're workhorses to me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like I'm a car guy. I'm a car guy in a different sense. Like I'm like the commercial car guy, not like
you're like
fun
the
car guy.
You're like the mechanic, like the mechanic car.
Yeah.
Like you
I
are
drive
a mechanic, but you drive like a crappy sedan that you're never going to work on because by the time you're done your 8-10 hour shift, you don't want to go home and work on that thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
But it gets me from point A to point B, and most of it works. So you just got to leave it.
Well, I mean, let's be real here. It's not like you're driving like brand new WRXs like me and Alex are.
No.
Like obviously we're keeping those
100
pristine,
miles
but
a
like
day.
True.
once again, we've got skin in the game because we just bought brand new cars.
Exactly. Right. You're going to baby the crap out of it. Like, you know, a CRV with 120. Well, you know what I'm saying.
The driveline is not babied, but the looks are.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
like,
there isn't a time where I drive it where I don't get it into boost.
Right.
Oh, no, every time. Even if it's light, just a little whoosh.
Yeah. I mean, when you've got a car like that, of course you got to get into it. But it's like a CRV, it's like, I'm just going to take it to like the Shell station car wash. Like I'm not going to sit here and baby it. It's a friggin' CRV. But yeah, it had some definite interior personality. So yeah, I brought it over to Matt, and that's what we noticed next is that like, man, this thing is really kind of filthy. I mean, because like, you know, obviously they vacuumed it, so it looked okay, but you know, once you start like digging in a little bit deeper than that, like, you know, we tried the folding seats because, you know, I wanted to make sure I knew how everything worked and make sure it did work. And then you look under the seat and there's like, oh, cool, look, pixie sticks and all this like cool crud. Like,
so
oh,
like,
cool.
was the pixie stick had that like there's a little bit of French fry grease on it too?
No, so
and it starts to like
it wasn't actually a pixie stick. I just don't know what they're called. They're like those little plastic tubes with like honey or like sweet jelly in them.
Yep.
Oh, got it. Yep.
It's not quite a pixie stick, but it's kind of like the liquefied version of the same thing.
Yeah.
And there's like a bunch of those just like kind of milling around, a bunch of dirt. And it had like 2 of every floor mat, which was really strange.
It was wild.
So it had like the factory CRV floor mats, and then it had like WeatherTechs over those.
Hey, you know
Well,
what?
they
Nothing
actually
wrong with
make some to fit together.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, it like I really appreciate it. It's just weird because then over that they put like a piece of like Berber sample carpet like you would get at Home Depot. It's like, why
like, what
though?
was the point?
What are you? You're not covering up anything with
They're
it.
just
What's the
trying to
point
keep
of
it clean because it's, you know, at a shop.
Yeah,
That's why.
exactly. Yeah, and then it also had like this weird stain. This is a weird one.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's a stain, all right.
Matt's seen it. It's like so obviously this thing was like someone's family car. So like the kids sat in the back seat, and kids are horrible to cars.
So what you're talking about is the kids produced personality in the backseat.
They did. They did.
Well, I mean, dial it back. The kids were made, and that's where the personality came from. In the
Right. The
Well,
kids'
that's a few
personality
years
spilled
before.
over
Hey,
onto
you know what?
the
That car's like
seats.
12 years old. Yeah.
So it got like, I don't know if it's like paint or something, but there's like a weird like dried on slime stain on the back.
It was kind of like
seat.
cheesy. Yeah, it was like.
Did you say cheesy?
Cheesy. Yeah, it was just like it just had like the consistency of like.
It was really tough to describe. Yeah, and it was like caked into the seat. So it's like I'm not quite like. I mean, it chipped away. So it's like. You could probably clean it with like
it chipped. It wasn't. It didn't have.
I mean,
like
it was dried. Like it wasn't like you touch it and it comes with you. Like,
No,
it was dried. Because I'm like one of those people where it's like if it's gross, like touch.
You've got to touch it.
Yeah. I mean, like when the Trailblazer had like mouse dropping insulation like stuffed into the heater core, I'm the one that's like reaching my arm up and it's like, oh yeah, look at the treasures.
The treasure.
Like no gloves, nothing, just like give it to me.
That's rough.
Yeah, and then I'd like hold it out to our friend Ian and be like, "Hey, take a whiff."
And he'd be running.
No, he was there. Like that's the guy thing. I think that's a stupid like
wait
Jeff
a minute.
Foxworthy
You
joke.
just mentioned Ian and sniffing something.
Oh, the grass.
Hold on. Wait. Do you know what I've been cleaning out this week? Or last
You didn't
weekend?
find that.
I did. No. It's still it's not around. It's officially been passed along to the garbage man.
Okay.
And I don't mean physically I went up and handed it to him, but last week I actually found that grass bottle and it was even more caved in on itself. Like you know how, I'm sure if you put some weird organisms in like a plastic bottle, it should expand from gases, right?
Right.
No, the grass bottle's been slowly caving in on itself. Like it's just sucking all the air it has into
Oh
itself.
my god.
Guys, this box is 15. This is 15 years ago.
At least.
At least.
This bottle, it was like a...
Why don't you explain that from the start?
Yeah. I actually haven't heard this.
Oh, you've never seen
No, I don't know the story.
So literally, like when we were still in high school, like maybe junior year or something.
Yeah, it was.
I went outside. I had like one of those, it's a little bit skinnier bottle than like a regular size water bottle.
Yeah.
But it has like the flavored water or drink in it.
Yeah.
It was like a Dasani bottle or some shit like that.
Whatever it was. It was when Dasani didn't make like the more Coca-Cola style bottle. It was more the straight one.
right.
So I had that, and I don't know why, just being a weird teenager, I just stuffed it full of grass and closed it.
Okay.
And like
You're
after
like building a terrarium or something.
I guess. I don't know.
some
There
stupid
was
shit.
and I just like kept it.
Okay.
And until like Matt said, like 15 years, it's probably been closed for 10.
Oh my god.
First of all.
Because it was opened once after a while, right?
It was open once after a while. Like it just like hid away for years. I'm like, and specifically I got Ian to like sniff it.
It was pungent. I remember that.
It was bad. It was like
pungent.
It was
Yeah,
what you'd
that's a
expect,
word.
like a bunch of just natural, like nature in a closed container, and I'm talking like airtight for many years. And you open
Decomposing
it,
for, like,
and it
5
just
years.
like comes out.
Oh.
But I think at the time, like before it collapsed in on itself, there was still a little bit of air in there, and there was no moisture really, other than like the actual what was in the grass
Right. Whatever
clippings.
was in the grass.
Or like
So-
condensation.
Yeah, I was
from
like
eating
Ian, I'm
cooling.
like, you got to sniff it. He's like, I'm not going to sniff it, and I convinced him he had to sniff it.
Yeah.
So I like opened it up, or he opened it up, and like it just like plumed out into his face.
it was pungent. I remember it.
Yeah, everybody took a sniff. It was bad, but it wasn't like, oh my god, I'm gonna vomit. It was just like I'd prefer not to smell this.
I see. Okay.
Like it's what you'd think like if you put like a little bit of like manure in a compost pile. Oh, now hold on, with like a lot of like grass clippings, like a lot, and you turn it over.
Oh, so it's kind of like that weird, like kind of barnyard smell to it.
Yeah, with like a little bit of cow turd. So like not cow turd, but like a little bit of that sour pungentness to it. But mainly that like
All right.
old dead grass. Just
Gotcha.
very dense, concentrated
Right. Yeah,
dead
because
grass.
it's just a bottle full of that.
Now, what's interesting? Some of that grass was still green to this day.
What?
It was not
Wow.
all tan and brown.
Oh my
I should have
God.
took pictures of it actually.
So-
but
It survived.
It's so real quick, tangent back to the kickboxing thing. Remember what Katie was saying this morning? Yep. All men are fucking immature children their entire lives.
Oh yeah.
that was after she said, "Oh yeah, Alex, he's a child." Like specifically, like he's just a child.
Yeah. No, I think
Whatever
even
I
if you,
said, I don't
even if
remember
you
what I
look
said.
at the manliest man, you break it down somewhere. There's a man child in there.
Oh, like
yeah.
Like, oh, yeah.
like Giga Chad.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
By the way,
child.
Giga Chad. I'm going to go off a tangent. Sorry.
go-
Giga
But, like,
Chad.
I actually did Giga Chad research this week too.
Okay.
Accidentally,
Research.
it was like a YouTube loophole.
Oh yeah. The rabbit hole
It's
that you
more
like, wind
like
up going down.
I watched a video of somebody else's work.
Okay.
So they found the image, obviously, of like the super chiseled jaw, ridiculous
Yeah,
like
the Giga
body.
Chad.
Yep.
Yeah, where it
So
came
I
from.
think it turns out the dude's like body is real to a point. But his face is not. It's edited. So
Oh.
there's this girl out there. I think they might be based in the Middle East. Like, I don't remember what town, city. Like, let's just say Dubai, just because there's probably a lot of
Yeah.
there's probably a lot of modeling over there.
Yeah.
all the money.
So this lady, I can't remember who it is, but I think she works with a lot of male models, or she started trying to do a business with this where they'd, she'd take the pictures of them and then send them to like magazine companies. Or something.
Right.
Whatever. It's like reverse scouting or something. I don't know what you'd call this, but
Yeah.
Like a scout. Yeah, like talent
it's
scouting.
scouting.
it's kind of
talent-
like
talent-
that, basically.
talent scouting, yeah.
So there was one of the dudes was like her boyfriend, or they got married, whatever it was. They're in a relationship, yeah. And I guess it ends up being this guy. So this guy is super fit, male model or whatever, but his face kind of looks like Giga Chad, but it's not as sharp.
I see.
So what they did is they actually skewed his face. So he actually kind of looks similar, but he doesn't quite have as like huge as a jaw.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
But, like-
the
like
Giga
the-
Chad image is like this huge lower jawbone, like,
Yeah.
like
But
the
the-
crimson chin level jawbone.
Exactly. So the guy actually still looks like he still is a super Chad.
Oh yeah.
Matt's researching right now, so he knows.
Yeah, find the real Giga Chad. But like, I guess it turns out, unfortunately, he's mostly fake, as we probably all figured anyways.
Oh yeah. I
Because
mean,
like nobody looks like that guy.
no.
Like he has
That's
he has a right amount of caveman in his face structure that he's like more manly.
Yeah.
But
He's Giga Chad. You know what? He's on that Sigma grind set.
Yeah, that's
Giga Chad.
I
he's
will
actually
say though,
picking it up.
the Giga Chad research video is kind of uncomfortable to watch being a straight male.
Yeah,
Because like there's just a lot of images of like the typical like
that's him.
face.
That's him. Yeah.
Like I think all they did is they slightly widened it and
it's
lowered
Kratos,
it. And other than
almost.
that, it's like,
It's
it's
Kratos.
Kratos. Put the face paint on him, he'd look the same.
Yeah, actually.
But yeah, you're watching it, and there's so many images of just like super ripped lower ab shots with them like they hook into like the underwear, like I'm real sexy.
Yeah,
and you're
yeah,
just
yeah.
like, why am I watching this at 10:30 at night in my bed on my phone? Like, what are people
Well,
going to think?
That is a weird thing, though. Like everybody does it. Like they get down this weird YouTube rabbit hole or like Wikipedia rabbit hole or something, and you just wind up getting somewhere, and you're like, "Why the fuck
why am I
looking?
here?
Why am I here at 1 a.m? Like I need to go to bed. This is stupid." But like you don't want to leave like with your questions.
You gotta have
unanswered, so
closure.
you have to. Yeah, exactly. You need that closure.
Like Matt just needed closure. He's like, I got to remind myself what Giga Chad looks like.
What
again.
is Giga Chad? Yeah. You had to look it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you break down any guy, and it's like, and somewhere in there's a man-child about something.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's Legos, whether it's like, train sets, whether it's computer games, whether it's driving cars, it doesn't matter. There's always something where we're just like, don't mess with me. I'm playing with my toys. Okay,
Yeah, exactly.
That's just the way it is.
I mean, that's all it ever is we just get money. So then we get adult toys.
Yeah.
Adult money was the worst choice I've made,
Oh
but
yeah.
also the best.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like being a kid where, probably all of us suffered from this. Is you're like, hey, mom, dad, like, can I get a whatever? And they're like, nah, definitely not.
No, yeah.
And like you'd get that object every now and then for Christmas or something.
yeah, the Christmas, the birthdays.
But now, like, you have a full-time job, and you're like, I can buy that shit every week if I want.
Yep.
I know. I'm just really lucky that I've grown out of like the most expensive childhood fads. Like I don't do Legos anymore because it's like, man, you look at the price on some
Oh,
of
it's
those.
bad.
Oh, it's scary. Like I don't know how my poor old dad was able to buy that stuff for me.
Well, like the problem I see now is like let's say the busts they make,
Yeah.
like the Venom head, like that's like $80 to $100 now. You used to be able to buy like the big, you remember that police station?
yeah. The
That
Lego
used
City
to be
Police
like
Station.
$90, $100, which I think was fair for a big set with thousands.
Yeah,
of
because
pieces.
that was like a play set.
Yeah, but now it's just like you go get like the Porsche car and it's like $100, and you're like, well, that's like only half that set. That's
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
Yeah, later on, like I think my dad got into it because like he would have as much fun building it as I would. Like we would,
Yeah.
once you start getting into that age where you're playing with the Technics.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Like, into the
we
cars
had
and stuff?
we had like the old I don't remember the exact name of the model, but it's like the red car, like one of the early
I already know
cars.
what you're talking about. All
But it
the
had the
images.
engine.
It had the little gear shifter with
Mm-hmm.
like it was actually like a 5-speed with reverse. It had the differential in the back.
Yeah, those
that
are
one
cool.
was- that one
Yeah,
was
Can you
I
get, like,
actually
that-
still have that. It's just it's in a bit of a state because like it didn't. A lot of pieces fell off it in the move, and I'd love to get like the instruction books and find the parts I'm missing and put it back together and actually like add the electric motor.
You know, you can get all that online. Like you can buy individual pieces.
You can make your own sets now too.
Yeah.
But
well, I want to get that thing. I want that.
Yeah. Well, it might be a cool experience to go down to the Burlington Mall. It's a little bit of a drive, like hour, 10 minutes, whatever.
Yeah, they have the Lego store.
But they have the Lego store and the back wall. You just pick your parts. I mean, depending on the month you go, they cycle out what's in there. But still, you can go and, I need a few of these.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of those things where it's like, it's kind of like in my basement. Like one of these days, I'm going to get around to it when I'm bored.
Be a nice desk piece.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's like, it's those projects you wait for, like, the power's out. What do I do? Or like, it's a rainy day. What do I do?
Or you just get them and then you have them everywhere and you've got shit everywhere. Like, welcome to my house. Welcome to my hell. You see how many Funkos and all this other shit there is around here?
Yeah. I mean, you know what? I don't ever knock collecting. Like I don't do it myself, but like I appreciate the people who do, because like looking at a lot of this stuff is always super fun.
Yeah, every time I come here, no matter how many times I've looked at it, I still start looking and find some new little detail.
Oh yeah. Like my buddy Taylor has like so many like action figures and stuff. It's like it's cool to look at. Like it's one of those things where it's like I would never buy that stuff myself. And like when he gets me like, like, oh look, your birthday present, here's like a little action figure, I'll be like, cool, thanks, man. But like, I don't have a collection of it, so it's like it's not really that important to me.
Yeah.
Whereas to him, that's like, oh, that's a really cool gift. But I always appreciate seeing people who do have that kind of stuff, because I'm just like, oh, see, now I can appreciate it without having to spend the money on it. It's like when people get pets, it's like, oh, cool, I get to have fun with the pet without having all the responsibilities.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I love it.
Look, it's Mr. Bowser.
Yeah, Mr. Bowser. Yeah, I wish he loved me more, but he just likes my hands.
Like, I'm gonna lick your hands while you're streaming or recording, and that's it.
Yep, that's it.
That's about it.
Anytime I walk in, he barks kind of angrily at me.
Yeah, it is funny because like you guys can't see it, but every time Mr. Beardsley comes over, Bowser just barks and barks and barks at him, doesn't like him, kind of goes and hides, and then as soon as we get the headsets and stuff on, he's like, I'm just gonna lick your hand.
Yeah.
Forever.
And like, let's not forget, like after we're done recording, and normally like we break out like Gran Turismo or some shit like that, like he'll come over and he'll just sit here.
Yeah,
and he'll be fine with Eddie, like not a care in the world.
Yeah, he like once he unwinds, it's fine. But like early on, I think it's because like one of the first times I met him, I came in smelling like another dog.
Probably.
And because I had been over my friend's house, and he's got a dog that I've known since he was a puppy. So it's like, we get great.
Wrestling around with him.
Yeah. And so like, when I come straight from there to here, and then he smells that and he's like, what is that? Like he's still kind of young enough where it's like, it was like probably before he started really taking him out to like dog parks and stuff.
Yeah, which we go all the time.
Yeah. Now he's like he's at that age.
He's always been fine. You know what the difference is? I was gonna say he's always been fine with how I smell with Jasmine, but he's met her.
Right.
So he actually knows her.
Right. And he probably doesn't know this other dog.
And as a young puppy, when he was, a quarter of his size, he went and played around with her.
It could also be the beard and the hat, because I know like sometimes dogs
dogs
fixate
don't like
on weird details. Yeah.
I mean, that's just kind of how it always is. Like my last two dogs that I gave to my ex out in Vegas, like Texas and Tara would love you, but because you come in like the hat and everything and the beard and everything, they totally be barking at you for like the first 10 minutes.
Right.
Once they get over it, they'll be like, oh, it's just another friend. All right, yeah.
Just a bud.
Yeah, and then Texas would like smother you with about 32 balls and like, we need to play fetch for the rest of eternity.
Oh yeah.
That's how he was. He was like, we're gonna fetch, right?
Yeah. You do it for like 30 minutes, and then you're like bored, but the dog is like, no, I want to keep going.
We're gonna fetch.
Yeah.
I miss those dogs so much.
Yeah.
So, I mean, damn, we pretty much spent this whole podcast talking about our weeks.
Yeah,
we did.
I'm not going to lie. This podcast went by faster than any one we've recorded, I feel.
Yeah.
I looked at the time. I was like, 3 minutes in. All right. And then I looked at the time. I'm like, hour and 23 minutes. I'm like, what happened?
Hey, you know what? We had a good time. We had a good conversation. We had a lot of good conversations about this.
This has been a good one.
It's finally getting...
The real talk about what were we going to talk about? Like fucking Johnny Depp's court case?
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah. I mean, I don't really have much input on that. I said earlier, I'm not much of a star fuckery kind of guy. Like the whole Hollywood thing doesn't really
I don't care much for it either,
but I have, it's one of those things where it's like you're bored on YouTube and it's like they're immediately on the front page. So it's like, all right, it's a 5-minute video. Check it out. Yeah.
Well, okay. The thing about it is, and like, I'm same as you. Like, I really don't care. Like, I like Johnny Depp in movies and stuff. He's a good actor, but like, The thing that's like captivating everyone's attention about it is just like the fuckery that's gone on.
Oh yeah.
To this point, like her literally shitting in his bed. You know, he goes to lay down at the end of the day, and like, you know, can you imagine? You get there, you get in bed, you go to lay down, you just feel like a squish.
Hold on, did you hear actually how he found out?
He got like called, didn't he?
Yeah. So what happened is I watched the testimony. So this is right out of Johnny Depp's mouth, and
I probably watched the exact same video.
Yeah, I think
was the word poop in the title?
I think so.
That's why I clicked on it.
Yeah, that's why I clicked on it. But like, so he does the testimony, and he describes the day or the weekend that everything happened. So I guess his were they married? Is that his wife?
I think they were married.
So I'll reference her as his wife. So. Just because, what was it, Amber?
Amber.
Okay.
Heard? Is that
well, we can give her a name because I couldn't remember.
Whatever, just Amber.
But so Johnny's on the table or whatever, testifying testimony, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. He's on the stand.
He's just basically going down from this is when it started to this is when it ended, and so he goes like Lee was saying. He actually went to lay down in bed. He got a book out and he was just going to read. Like normal people might do. So he's in there, and Amber, I guess, went to restroom to clean up, whatever, get ready for bed. And she comes back and she's just screaming at him. And he's literally just sitting there in peace, or trying to be, reading his book. And she's, getting all angry and stuff. And he's not saying anything. He goes, I'm not getting involved. Because I'm probably sure at this point this has happened too many times.
Right.
So he's just trying to pull the card of like, you know what? I'm not paying attention to you.
Yeah. Hope it goes away.
So exactly. He's hoping that she just like passes out in bed.
Yeah.
So obviously that doesn't happen. So I think eventually he just kind of stands up casually, gets out of bed, and he goes, I just took her, grabbed her by the shoulders, sat her on the bed, and said, okay, this is enough. I'm going to leave. I'm going to collect my things, and I'm leaving. That's it. So obviously that didn't work. So he starts, he gets a couple things, and he goes to the door, and she does the whole, like, run into the door and hold the door frame thing.
Oh, jeez.
And, I think he's asking her if he wants to hit him or whatever. Just like, you want to do it? Is that going to make you feel good? Whatever. And I can't remember if he said she punched him in the face or something. It probably happened.
She slapped him a couple times, I think.
Yeah, I think she did rough him up a little bit.
Typical shitty relationship
And the same thing.
Seriously.
Grabs her by the shoulders, moves her away, and proceeds to leave. And I don't think she followed him or whatever. And at that point, I think he knew that she was supposed to go to Coachella. And he was, at that time, after he went to another one of his houses, because all these guys...
Yeah, he's Hollywood, so he's got more than one.
He basically took nothing. He just got in his car and left. And he goes, well, I only have so many things at this house, and obviously this relationship's done at this point. So he goes, well, she's away. I'm going to go to the house and collect the things that I find important to myself and leave with. He's like, oh, clothes, whatever, who cares?
Right.
But at some point, I think he called or somebody called him, and he said, okay, well, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to this house on that whatever street, and I'm going to collect my things and go. And the guy says, you probably shouldn't go. It's not a good time. And yeah, he knows it's coming. Yeah. And he goes, well, like, what do you mean? And I think this was a guy that might have taken care of the property or something while he's gone. I can't remember the relationship between the guy he was talking to. So, he's just like, what do you mean? Why is it not a good time? And he goes, he didn't want to talk about it. The guy. Yeah. And I think he sent him a picture. And he goes,
a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Exactly. See, I guess Johnny Depp goes on to describing, he goes, and he got a picture. And it took him a long time to say what was on the bed. So, like, sheets pulled back. There was a turd on his side of the bed, basically. That obviously she left there.
Yeah.
And the way he describes it's hilarious because he knows he's trying to be very professional and appropriate during this time. But dude, you have to describe.
He's been cracking jokes the whole time.
Well, I know, but during this testimony, he's, Yeah,
you have to try to maintain some professionalism because otherwise you're not going to be taken seriously.
And you can tell at some point the way he's talking, even at the beginning of the video, because it took about 7 minutes to describe the whole situation to get to the punchline.
Right.
And he's kind of, there's a lot of that going on, just like, and
trying to find the right words where it's like you're not going to invoke like some kind of weird response.
He basically goes, and he starts kind of cracking a smirk a little bit because he knows it's real awkward to talk about in a courtroom.
Yeah.
And he goes, in the picture on, my side of the bed was, human fecal matter. Like, just said it like that.
That's what he said.
Like, I was almost like the excitement is just like this until that climactic finish of him finally saying like feces. You know? Like, I'm sure Matt had the same thing. Like, I was watching it, and the funny thing is like, you know, I like Johnny Depp and stuff, and he wasn't really awkward about it, but I felt kind of strange watching the video.
Oh,
Like, I don't know if you got the same
Yeah,
feeling.
it was definitely a
Because you know what it's about. And it's
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's like, if it happened to you, you would be like,
Exactly.
It's horrible, but like you hear it and you're like, this is so bizarre. Like, I can't help but laugh.
Yeah, well,
Like,
he even said, like,
Yeah, he
I
said
looked at
something
my
like
phone
that.
and I laughed. He goes, I just laughed.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
so
At least he's
ridiculous.
got a good sense of humor about it. I would
Yeah.
have been livid.
Oh yeah, no, his sense of humor has been coming through in some of it. Like one of the ones was when he found out he had lost like $100 million or whatever to the IRS because of like mismanagement over some of his movie stuff, his movie rights.
Jeez.
So he was all mad and he was slamming shit around in his kitchen and everything, and then fucking obviously, you know, Amber's there like recording it, and she's trying to conveniently hide the phone every time he's doing this stuff and everything. And like it turns into this whole thing, and he's pissed off, and he doesn't touch her once or anything. He does like at one point it shows her like on her phone as she's recording, and she's like giggling when he's not looking.
Wow.
So like he knows, and all this is coming out as like the court case goes on, is that like he knows that she's bullshitting.
And you
Like-
can tell, though.
And the
like,
longer it goes, the worse it's going to be for her.
Oh, yeah, but
Yep.
you can tell every picture and every video how miserable she looks because she's realized it's coming full circle to her. And Johnny's just
Yeah.
like, whatever. Like, it's going to take its course, you know?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like at one point they were talking about that whole video and everything. And then like someone asks like, do you like, you know, you are much bigger and stronger than her, blah, 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 blah. He just kind of looks and goes, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I'm not that much bigger than her at all. Like, it'd probably be an even fight. And she's sitting there, like, up on the stand, like, trying to have, like, that guilty, like, that, like, I'm innocent, I've been abused face. And he cracks a joke, and she straight loses it. Like, she straight loses the whole facade and everything for, like, a minute before she
Jeez.
goes back to it. And, like, at that point, like, everyone in the courtroom and all the streams saw it and everything. It's like, yeah. No, it's really interesting because this is supposed to be, like, 6 weeks, and, like, every day... Like it was like in her favor at the start, but every day it goes on, she's losing ground. Like now her whole therapist is like, yeah, no, she's fucking crazy.
Jeez.
Like she's been lying about all this stuff and everything. But yeah, like it's just some of the stories, dude, they're funny, and some of the videos, like it's getting out of control.
Yeah, some of it kind of makes me feel bad though. It's in the same way that like
That's defamation.
like when you watch like Maury or
yeah.
Who's the other guy there?
Jerry
Jerry
Springer.
Springer. Sorry,
Jerry
yeah.
Springer.
You know, like when you're watching it and it is just like the trashiest TV. Kind of like, where did they find these people? And then like you watch it and you're having a good time, and then like you like kind of like mull it over a little bit, and you're like, oh, that's sad, because like you're realizing it's
You
like
get into it.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, because then you think like, especially with Maury, because it's like, oh, there's like a kid there. It's like, oh,
It's always the kid, like, it turns out, he's the father.
yeah. Or oh, you're not the father. Family dynamic destroyed. It's just
Yeah.
like, oh man, that kid's upbringing is ruined. Like it's really like sad when you like break it down, and it's like, I don't know. Like when it comes to like that whole airing of like public grievance, like obviously they have to do this because they're trying to like, you know,
Like-
it's a defamation case. That's what it's about.
Real talk. More than half that stuff on like Maury feels staged anyways.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah, I
think
think
it
it is.
Well, that and like I also think like they, you know, I'm sure they coach these people.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
before
yeah,
they
yeah.
come on, like, dude,
Yep.
listen, you have to ham it up.
So,
Yeah.
so like
Throw the chair.
Yeah, throw the chair. If the answer comes out, you bolt. Like you bolt
Yo.
into the sofa room. Like how do they know where they're going? Right?
Yeah. They're in like that, like you said, the sofa room. It's always that one love seat, and they're just like,
They face plant into it.
yeah, and it's just awful.
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
camera's like right there.
Yep. Yeah,
So,
the camera
like-
guy's like sprinting after them.
yeah, so like real talk, when I was in college, that used to be on the TV in the student lounge at
Oh, yeah.
lunchtime. Like Maury would be on. And we'd all have like everyone would be there to the lunches. Like we'd all be like running bets and everything on like if he's the father, if he's not the father, and shit like that. And just like I just remember there was days where he'd come through and be like, "You're not the father," and everyone in the student lounge is cheering and like celebrating just as much.
Yo, yeah,
he's free.
Yeah.
Oh man, like that shit's got to be fake as hell.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Especially Springer, because like they don't like just pick these guys out of the blue. Like they probably get in like however many tapes a year, and then they're like, all right, what are the craziest ones? Like we just need them on. Well, actually, I don't even know. I think Springer's retired now, right? Like
I remember,
probably.
Yeah, something. I remember there was one of those. Dude was on there with his girlfriend or whatever the hell, complaining that she's cheating on him. She doesn't love him anymore. Blah, 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 blah. Because he's only getting sex like 3 times a week from her when it used to be like every day.
3 times a week's very acceptable.
What the hell?
I don't remember if it was Jerry, if it was Maury, or whoever, if it was one of them. They kind of read the card. And they just looked at it. I was like, are you fucking serious? What? No, Siri. He's like, are you fucking serious? Like, 3 times a week? Dude, that's more than most of us get in a month.
Jeez.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you do see like some really petty people. I know like what is that? There's like a famous clip of I think like divorce court or whatever where it's like, oh, the guy treats this girl too nice and she hates it. And it's like, what the hell planet are you from? Like, what is wrong with you? But like,
it's like dude's daughter or something.
Something. I don't know. Yeah, it just always makes me feel kind of bad because it's like, like it's so weird, like surreal when you're watching it, and then like you kind of think about it, it's like, someone actually has to like live like that.
Yeah. You know what I wonder too? I know we probably need to finish up soon, but like, so I wonder if Jerry Springer and stuff is casted the same as like Wheel of Fortune. So those game shows, you don't sign up ahead of time. So at least back in like, let's say the 80s and 90s, they would actually line up outside the studio and you would get picked.
Oh, wow.
So it was almost like a miniature lottery. So you'd line up and the first, let's say 50 people might get a number. Yeah. And they would randomize it or whatever. And they'd say, okay, you 4 people are the contestants tonight. And then the next session or whatever, they line people up again.
Right.
So.
That and they used to record like the whole week in one night, in one show.
Yeah.
Like, so like one day, you know, if you think about it, you're going to record 5 episodes. So you have like a break in between, but 5 episodes times like 30 minutes, which is actually only about 22 minutes of airtime.
Right.
Roughly. So like if you think about it, that you're not even 3 hours. So with breaks and everything, like
they can record like
one day at work,
season.
they're recording the whole They're recording the week's episodes.
Right.
Yep.
Well, that I learned that because I watched a documentary on a guy. He went on The Price is Right 6 times or something like that.
Yeah.
And he was so good at it that he figured out formulas on how to guess the prices on any object that they had on the stage. Yeah, and he got it right every time.
Those
and whenever he was on, even the host, like Bob Barker or whatever, it's like he's like, oh, he's here again. Like he was like red shirt guy at BlizzCon. Same shit. You know?
Yo,
but,
fuck
yeah.
Yeah, those people are nuts. Yeah,
I love Prices Right.
I mean, I do too, but like, like there's like a whole science to that show at this point because it's been on the air so long. Like, but yeah, going back to the contestant thing, I remember watching like how they made like I think it was Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and like because like it always seems like they just pick a guy out of the crowd when they do like the little answer on the thumb pad, but what's actually happening is like they're polling the audience, but like. They've actually like pre-screened like 50 people out of that group. Yeah. And then it's like they pick people who get the right answer out of that group of 50 people, not the entire audience. So it's like you might get the right answer, but they're not
still kinda,
yeah, it's still like that kind of random chance. Like, okay, you're one of that 50, but it's not like, oh, just anybody goes on. Like they definitely pre-screen you and they brief you on like, those 50 contestants. They say like, yeah, this is what you can say. This is what you can't say. This is what we want you to talk about. This is the structure of the show. Like they give you a briefing.
Yeah,
and then they do like the whole little question thing, and at that point it's random, but like everything up to that isn't. Mm-hmm. It's really fascinating.
Because you know what they probably don't want again? That guy. You ever see like the bad clips of the contestants? Oh, where like there's the guy that's so nervous he's like kind of like puking in his mouth the whole time. Like, that must be rough. You finally get to like you're almost at $1 million. You're just like
that's brutal.
That brings me back to a really weird video I remember seeing a long time ago. Like this Swedish is it like this Swedish politician or something or Swiss? I don't know. I don't know my European countries. And he's on like a talk show. And he's obviously super nervous. Like he's like a young guy, like 22 or something.
Yeah.
He's a politician, and he's being asked a question, and he's asked to give his answer, and like mid word, he like throws up in his mouth, and it like fills his cheeks.
Oh no!
Like, it's like, but he like swallows it down and then keeps answering. And it is, and you because he's wearing like the whatever they call those microphones that are like clipped on. You can hear it like kind of fill his mouth. He's like, and he swallows it back down and gives his answer. And I'm just like, oh God. That was almost a catastrophe. Like, I mean, it's still super gross, but you know what? Props to that guy for holding it in.
Puking on a lavalier, Mike.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
I don't know why I went on that
not
tangent.
good.
That really wasn't worth anything.
All right. Let's go ahead and close it out.
All right. Well, I think
Man.
I think we're about done here. We're like almost getting
Talking
pretty
about
close
puking.
to 2 hours, and we're starting to get on like bathroom humor. So we should probably sign off. So. Yeah, you each want to go through your thing, what you have planned for this upcoming week. I mean, I know we talked about the game stuff, but aside from that,
we're gonna figure that out. We'll figure that out. I think I've still got to do the watch card video. I've been so busy with other stuff, I haven't been able to do that. Obviously, you can find me on Grizzly on YouTube and on TikTok, and then on all the other social medias, I come up as Grizzly TV. I did change it. I can't change it to just plain Grizzly on like Instagram, even though that's where I'm the most active.
Right.
But I'm working on it. Just doing stuff, doing short videos, all the fun stuff there. So come find me there.
He's got some good stuff.
I hope you guys have a great weekend.
Alex, you got anything?
I'm gonna be waiting on lights.
Lights,
Maybe
right
we'll
on.
take some schmedia of that.
Right on.
And birthday next weekend.
Oh yeah, B-Day next weekend.
Yeah.
Well,
It's technically Tuesday, but
yeah. If we do this stuff Saturday, we'll probably record Sunday next week.
Okay.
Okay.
Just,
yeah.
Oh, right,
just
right,
because
right.
it's easier for him. And
that
then
makes
not to
sense.
mention, my parents are gone the week after, so
Gotcha.
the house is empty, so it'd be real easy to do shit here.
Right on.
Sweet.
Matt, you got anything going on this week?
Waiting for car parts.
Yeah,
Like Alex.
the exciting
Yeah,
game
he's
of
like,
that
lol,
part
same.
waiting. Yeah.
I'm gonna start posting up some pictures I have on Instagram. Caddy Killjoy 666. You can find me there. See all the car parts. And,
Yo, you did a really good job on the Suburban post the other day.
Oh yeah.
I like how you edited saying the new post.
yeah.
that was a good
for
one.
the story.
Yeah.
You did a really good job with that.
Thank you, sir.
And then me, I'm hopefully gonna buy that CRV.
Yeah.
Circling back around to that
Stain or no
story.
stain.
Hopefully not destroying my relationship with my mechanic.
Yeah.
Pete, if you watch this, I'm so sorry. I don't know why you took it so personally. Don't take it personally. It's just a thing you do.
You know,
And,
he probably did that himself so many times.
I'm sure, like, again, it can't be that weird. I don't know. You feel free to, like, throw in your own 2 cents on that, but I just can't imagine that's that weird of a thing. It was really my mistake for telling him where I was taking it, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But, no, aside from that, I think we're getting ready to sign off here, so happy Hitler Death Day, everybody. It's April 30th
Good
on the
riddance to
filming
that
of
guy.
this, so that's the Wikipedia fun fact for the day is Hitler killed himself on this day with
Good riddance.
his
Good riddance.
his squeeze there, and that was that. So yeah,
Hey, have a great day.
very